Many years ago, in the serene village of Uromi, there lived a young lady named Omoni. She was a very beautiful and elegant lady. Omoni had high taste and craved a life of affluence and pampering. She was very selective of the kind of men she talked to and rejected so many suitors. She lived with her mother in the village and was constantly reminded by her mother to not settle for a poor man. Omoni finally accepted the proposal of a young man named Nosa. He was a rich young businessman who had several shops in the markets. Nosa loved Omoni and would always give her what she wanted, even before she asked. Omoni was convinced that Nosa could give her the life she desired, and so she agreed to marry him. When Nosa told his mother about his plans to marry Omoni, she frowned at the idea. She knew Omoni and her mother very well, so she told Nosa, "I don't think marrying Omoni is a good idea. I know she's beautiful and attractive, but you are looking for a wife now, not a girlfriend. Omoni is just like her mother, and everyone in this village knows how her mother squandered her father's money and ruined him. The signs are there already that Omoni is with you just because of your money. Have you thought of what would happen when the money is no longer there like before?" Nosa immediately replied, "Mama, God forbid. My money would never finish, and I don't see anything wrong in spending on Omoni. She wants a good life and she deserves it. It even gives me joy in spending on her. I love her so much, Mama, and it is her that I want to marry." His mother sighed and could only wish for the best for her son. "If she is your choice, then go ahead." And that was how Nosa married Omoni, and they moved into a new house Nosa had recently built. Omoni would not do any of the house chores. She would not even cook, and so Nosa had to get a help for her. He understood that his wife was a soft woman who wanted a soft life, and he did not see anything wrong with that because he felt she deserved it. Omoni enjoyed all the pampering and was glad that she married Nosa. She loved him as well and never missed any opportunity to shower him with accolades. Her mother had taught her that praising a man would motivate him to do more for you. Omoni would stay at home all day, sleeping or eating, and whenever she went out, it was either to her husband's shop to collect money or to her beauty salon to style her hair and get expensive products for her skin. 1 year after their marriage, Nosa decided that he was ready to be a father. He called Omoni and told her about it, but she frowned and told him that she wasn't ready. She tried to convince him to wait. "You know, pregnancy is not easy, and I am not ready for it now. I need some time to accept the fact that my beautiful body and shape might be changed by pregnancy. Please just be patient with me." Nosa was dumbfounded. So it was because of her body that she did not want to give birth. However, he tried to make excuses for her and not see her as being selfish. He decided to give her some time to come around. In spite of Nosa being the only son, Nosa's mother did not for once interfere in his affairs. She would not even come to visit them at their home and would wait for when Nosa decided to visit her. Their marriage was going on well until one day, Nosa had gone to his shop but came back quite early with a gloomy expression. Omoni noticed it and asked him what the problem was. He told her that he had a little challenge with his business, but that everything would soon be rectified. She didn't press further, but instead went on to tell him that her mother visited her earlier that day and she gave her some money. Nosa smiled at her and then went into the room to unwind. Earlier that day, he had gone to the next village to discuss business with someone. When he came back to his main shop, he met his sales representative running about frantically. He asked what the problem was and was told that as he left the shop, some men came to buy roofing sheets. They requested for larger quantity, and so they had to go to the other shops and also to the warehouse to get the sheets. The men came with a big truck, and so they started loading the sheets. The men looked wealthy, and they brought out a big bag of money to pay. After counting the money, it was not enough, so one of the shop boys was asked to follow them to collect the balance. But after 2 hours, the boy returned crying that he was pushed out of the truck in the middle of nowhere, and the truck zoomed off immediately. It was then that they decided to check the bag of money well, only to realize that these men hid fake currencies in between real money. Nosa was dumbstruck when he heard this. His life investments, his sweats, his money, and also those of others were gone. He pinched himself to be convinced that he was in a dream, but much to his disappointment, this was real. He sat there absent-mindedly for almost 1 hour before one of his business colleagues came to collect money for the roofing sheets they collected from his shop. It was normal for them to collect goods from themselves if they had a huge supply to do. After the sales, they would then settle the person whose goods had been collected. But as it stood now, Nosa had to use his own money to pay for the goods since the deal was a scam. He had to take money from his savings to clear his colleagues. He then went to his other 2 shops to see for himself the level of the scam. It was then that he almost had a heart attack. The 2 shops were empty, and it occurred to him that he had been duped of goods worth millions. He still found it unbelievable and would rather spill than swallow this bitter pill. He called his boys together and asked them specific questions about the scammers. He was not just going to let it go like that, so he went to meet the market vigilantes to report the incident. They promised him that they would get to the root of the matter. That was when he decided to return home and get away from all the tension. He was hopeful that those scammers would be tracked down eventually. The next day, very early in the morning, Nosa left for the markets. He went to meet the vigilante men to ask them about their progress with his case. But they told him that they couldn't track down the men as no one could provide them with any useful information. Nosa felt like a heavy lump was being pushed down his throat. He tried to swallow hard, but it just would not go down. He felt like he was going to choke as he fought back the bitter tears that was already swelling in his eyes. As he walked back to his shop, his head was blank as he tried to calculate the implication of this incident on his business. Almost all his goods were gone, and he even tried to use his savings to settle his colleagues. Who would he blame? Would blame even bring back anything? Oh no! Who did this to me? Who did I offend? Nosa had to lock up his shops and return home. When he got back home, he narrated all that had happened to his wife, and Omoni was shocked. She did not want to think of the implications of this incident on their lives. Nosa, please tell me you are joking. How did this happen? Why did you allow this happen? Are we broke now? Please tell me this is not true. Omoni went on and on hysterically. Nosa just sat there trying so hard to fight back his tears. He had to be strong for his wife. He was the man of the house. He went and held his wife and told her, "My love, don't worry. I will take care of this. Our lives would not change. I know I promised to take care of you, and I still will. Nothing would change. I just need you to be patient with me. We might have to make a little sacrifice now, but I promise you, I will bounce back. I won't let you suffer." As Omoni heard those words, she told him frankly, "Nosa, I don't know what sacrifice is. I can't sacrifice. I trust you would fix this, and please fix it quickly." Omoni said and walked away, leaving Nosa alone to deal with his problems. Nosa had to close down his other two shops and manage his main shop. The loss he suffered affected his business so much that the goods remaining in his shop was not even up to 100,000 worth. What made this issue worse was that he had just cleared a container and he used all his money to do that. Now, all the goods he bought in that container was gone. He then decided to take a huge loan to at least be able to stock up his remaining shop. No one would give him a loan without a collateral, and so he decided to use his house as a collateral without telling his wife. With the way his business was now, he would need to grow it like a startup again for it to be solid. But Omoni would not have any of that. She would demand for money and would not accept anything less than what she wanted. Nosa pleaded with her to cut down on spending and manage for the meantime, but she would not budge. Omoni was used to expensive clothes, hairstyles, and body products. She would also not let their house help go away. She insisted on keeping the help because she would still not cook nor clean. And so the expenses continued to increase and was slowly eating Nosa's shop until it started to shake. The goods in the shop had been sold off, but Nosa could still not pay back the loan he took. He asked for an extension and was granted, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not make up the money. Gradually, Nosa stopped giving Omoni money. He would only give her what he had at that moment, promising to make it up next time. Omoni became frustrated when she could no longer keep up with her lifestyle, and she would nag the hell out of Nosa. She became bitter and always on the edge. And then one day, the worst happened. On this fateful day, they were at home when they heard loud bangs on the gates. They both went out to see who it was. As soon as Nosa saw that it was the man who had loaned him money for his business, his heart sank. He looked at Omoni, fearing what she would do when she learned that their house was on collateral. The man stormed in shouting, "Nosa, where is my money? I have really tried for you. If you don't have my money, then I have to take this house today." Omoni looked at the man confused and then turned to Nosa to ask him for explanations. What is this man talking about? Which money and which house does he want to take? Nosa was panicking at this time. He told Omoni that he would explain everything to her later and then turned to beg the man. "Chief, please, give me some more time. I will raise your money. I promise I will pay back." But the chief ignored him and instead told his boys to go inside and throw their bags out of the house. Omoni was losing it at this point. She dragged Nosa's shirt and screamed at him. "What did you do? Answer me! What did you do with our house?" Nosa tried to calm her down and explain things to her. "I am sorry. I didn't plan for things to go like this. I had to take a loan to stock up my shop after those people scammed me. I was going to start afresh and build back, but things did not go as planned. I used this house as a collateral for the loan." Omoni was shocked. "You did what? Used our house? No, you must be joking, right? I don't know what business you have with that man, but please just go and settle with him and leave this house alone." Nosa told her, "It is an agreement. He will take the house. We have to move out now." Omoni looked at him with disgust in her eyes. "Leave? Leave to where? Do you have another house?" Nosa then told her, "We can go to my family house. My mother will accommodate us." Omoni lost it at this point. "Your family house? Is that what you want to reduce me to? Nosa, what did I ever do to you? What did I do to deserve this?" Omoni cried. At that instant, the boys that came with the chief had brought out all their belongings and thrown them outside. Nosa and Omoni had to go stay at the family house. As they arrived with their bags, Nosa's mother was surprised to see them. She welcomed them in and proceeded to ask Nosa why they had come with so many bags. Nosa had to explain to his mother all that happened with his business. His mother was shocked and started to cry. "So you have been going through all this and you refused to tell me. You decided to keep it away from me. How have you been coping? Whoever did this to you will never go unpunished. Let me quickly go and arrange a room for you and your wife." All the while her mother-in-law was talking, Omoni looked around the house in disgust. She could not believe that she would be living in such a place. "I can never get used to this place. Nosa had better come up with something fast. I can't fall from grace to grass. That's not possible," Omoni thought to herself.